Hello amiibros, this is Jason of GarageBand, so welcome to my updated original Xbox collection for 2020. So, last year when I did this, I had 112 games in my original Xbox collection, and this time I've increased it to a whopping 182 games. As of this video, the original Xbox is my biggest collection of games, followed closely by the PS2 and then the Wii. And I've got 6 big stacks behind me, so let's just get on to the games, shall we? So now, let's start. So before we get to the big stacks themselves, I'd like to show a small pile of loose discs. Don't worry, this will be brief as I don't have that many, like I said, and I haven't played a majority of the games that I have as loose discs. So the first game we have is Viet Cong Purple Haze, which, as you'd expect, is a game about being in Nam. We got Forza Motorsport. I think I have a complete copy of that one. Got a few sports games. Let me see. We got Madden 2007, 07. What's this one? ESPN 2K5, NHL 2K6, and MLB 2K5. Not gonna lie, I actually kind of want to play that one. And I think I have a double of that one. Project Gotham Racing 2. That one's pretty fun. Automata Lista, Capcom game, and it's like a cel-shaded racing game. Quite interesting, but I hear it doesn't play that great. And then we've got Batman Dark Tomorrow, which is very... But thank God for the Arkham games. Anyway, on to the rest of the games. So for pile number 1, I've got to start with pretty much the game that kickstarted Xbox, and that's the Halo games. They're great. I don't know what else to tell you. My thoughts on Halo are pretty much the same as anyone else who's played the first 2 Halo games. They're great, and Microsoft wouldn't be the same without them. Alright, next is Outlaw Golf. It's a game where you play as outlaws, but you can also be wannabe rappers and strippers, and Steve Carell is the announcer in the game. And that's really all you need to know about this game. No, but it is a fun game, and it's also a funny game. Alright, next is Red Dead Revolver, which eventually became Red Dead Redemption. And there's even some stuff from this game that was brought over to Red Dead Redemption, like the Dead-Eye system, if you can see right there. Come on, camera. Pick that up. There we go. And yeah, unlike Red Dead Redemption 1 and 2, this one doesn't have open world stuff in it, but like there's some really fun levels and gunplay to that game, and I really like it. Rockstar should make more games like that game. Alright, next is Pinball Hall of Fame, the Gottlieb Collection. Total nostalgia trip right here for me. Well, not this version, but for the PS2 version. And there's just some really great tables on here that, and even putting nostalgia aside, it's a fun game to play if you're in any way a fan of pinball like I am. And I also recommend the Williams collection for all you pinball people out there. Alright, next is Brute Force, which is one of many original Xbox exclusives that you're going to be seeing. So Brute Force is basically kind of like Ghost Recon, but in space. And unlike Ghost Recon, I actually like this over Ghost Recon. Because unlike Ghost Recon, how many times can I say Ghost Recon within a minute? 3, no. But with this game is much simpler than Ghost Recon. Like, it's like trims down like a bit of the more complicated stuff in Ghost Recon, like with the I guess the moving of troops, and it makes it like a lot simpler and just a ton of fun. And that's the thing with the original Xbox, because most people bought the original Xbox for Halo. A lot of the like exclusives for it, including Brute Force, were overshadowed by Halo, which was really unfortunate. Which makes the original Xbox a really great system to collect for if you like hidden gems, and if you like a really affordable library as well, because the original Xbox is one of the cheaper libraries to start collecting for. Alright, next, speaking of Ghost Recon, here's Ghost Recon, all the ones that I have. I'm not really a fan of most of these. Particularly Ghost Recon 2, I'm not really into. those too much because I couldn't even get past the. I can't even get past the first mission. Maybe it's just me sucking. It might be, but I'm not into it. Island Thunder, to be honest, it's not too bad because it kind of has like the, I guess, like sort of brute force thing with it, with a little bit of the complicated stuff from Ghost Recon, but it doesn't go overboard with it like 2 does, in my opinion at least. Alright, next is Sega GT 2002 and also Jet Set Radio Future, all on one nice disc with both manuals. I haven't played Sega GT 2002, but Jet Set Radio Future is a really fun game. It's basically like Tony Hawk if he could never stop grinding and if he could tag walls. Anyways, next is Tech, the Great Juju Challenge, which is a fun little 3D platformer. Not mind-blowing by any means, but it's fun. Alright, next is Fable, the Lost Chapters. I should get into this. For some reason, I haven't played Fable, and I have no clue why. Maybe it's my backlog. And then here's the Fable Limited Edition bonus DVD. Technically not a game, but you get to listen to Peter Molyneux lie out his ass over like everything about Fable. Well, maybe not everything, but I haven't looked through that DVD, but I'm assuming some of the stuff he's lying about. Next is X-Men Legends, which is a fun beat 'em up / RPG mixed with the X-Men. And alone you are mighty, together you are legends. Charles Xavier. And yeah, it's a fun game with the X-Men. It makes you feel like the X-Men. Next is Mojo, which is a puzzle game where you're this ball and you have to like change colors around to remove all sorts of colorful blocks. And it's a fun physics puzzle game. If you like these type of games, definitely pick it up. It's definitely better than anything Watch Mojo has made. Oh wait, those two games have nothing in common with each other. No. Mojo should be completely, should be far away from Watch Mojo as much as it can. Alright, next is Metal Gear Solid 2, Substance. This was actually the way I first played Metal Gear Solid 2, and this game is amazing. It's probably my favorite Metal Gear Solid game. Either this or Phantom Pain. But I don't know why this is considered the weakest out of all 5 games. I think the gameplay in 2 is an improvement over the first game, in my opinion at least. Let's see. Next is the Exhibition Demo Disc for Xbox. Also not a game, technically, but there are some really good demos that are on this, like Panzer Dragoon Orta and Toe Jam Mineral 3 and Time Splitters 2. And it's a really nice demo disc to get, because some of those games are expensive, like Panzer Dragoon Orta. And there's also like a trailer for Halo 2, and there's just some really nice stuff on that disc. Oh, sorry about the camera. All right, next is Splinter Cell and Splinter Cell Chaos Theory. I did have Pandora Tomorrow at one point, but I traded it away to a friend. But yeah, it's Splinter Cell. We should get another Splinter Cell game. I don't know why Ubisoft hasn't brought back Splinter Cell, because that game is Splinter Cell is just a really fun series. I think out of all the Tom Clancy series, that seems like one that you would think would continue on, but Ubisoft hasn't done anything with it, which is unfortunate. Alright, next is Forza Motorsport. There we go. There's my complete copy of Forza with the Xbox Live Arcade stuff on it. And it apparently, according to Electronic Gaming Monthly, they think it's better than Gran Turismo 4. Which, depending on the person, well, it depends. It's debatable. Alright, next is Midnight Club 2. It's another fun racing game. And you got this guy, who is big. Yeah, that's what makes it special. Next is Bloodwake, another original Xbox exclusive. And this game is like Twisted Metal, but on the water. It's a game where you fight with boats. And if you like fighting with boats, that is a game for you. That game must have some fun multiplayer. I should play it in multiplayer sometime. Alright, next is Mercenaries, Playground of Destruction. This game is, it's a LucasArts game. And it's basically, I guess, what it would be like to storm North Korea. Assuming that the US would ever do that, which they probably won't. Alright, next is The Simpsons Road Rage, which is just Crazy Taxi. A very fun version of Crazy Taxi with Simpsons characters. And this was actually one of the first games I got for my original Xbox. And I did an I did a video on that game years ago when this channel was really young. And not as but when it was like really cringy back in the day, I guess. Alright, next is there we go. Spider-Man and Spider-Man 2. The first one it's decent, but it has some stuff that's kind of outdated about it, but luckily this is probably the best version to play this game because it has an exclusive level to it. I don't know where it is, but there is an extra level in that game that kind of makes it the best version of that game. And in Spider-Man 2, I haven't played it yet, but I hear nothing but great things about that game. And since I've finished with the PS4 game, I should play that sometime. Alright, next is World Championship Poker. Who cares? Next. Next is Gauntlet 7 Sorrows, which is decent. That's probably not what Gauntlet maybe should be, but it's decent. And the last game in the first pile is Genma Onimusha, which is a port of the PS2 game. But this one is much harder, and it has like some new mechanics like the green orbs. If you want a challenge, go ahead, but I kind of prefer the PS2 version a bit over that because it still has like the Resident Evil style controls, which don't really translate to the Xbox very well. And now for pile number 2. So we've got Oddworld Munch's Odyssey and Oddworld Stranger's Wrath. Let's start with Munch's Odyssey first. Munch's Odyssey, in my opinion, is probably one of my favorite games on the original Xbox. Now, definitely one of the most underrated ones as well. It's a puzzle game done Oddworld style. It continues the story of Abe, but with this new character, Munch. And I did a Let's Play of this game years ago if you want to see my full thoughts on it, but yeah, great game, in my opinion at least. And then with Stranger's Wrath, this is a shooter done Oddworld style set in the West. And the gimmick of this one is that your ammo is made of these little, basically like insects and little small animals that you can use for, they all have different effects on different enemies, and like you can kind of mix and match them to get like different effects out of them. Like it's kind of like BioShock, where you can mix and match like different plasmids and guns, but with animals, and it's really fun. With the new game coming, I might play one of those games. Probably Munch's Odyssey, but yeah, I recommend those games. Alright, next is Loons: The Fight for Fame, which is kind of like Power Stone, but with Looney Tunes characters. And I remember I did some old videos of this years ago, back when my channel was really young. And yeah, it's a fun game. It's like 3D Smash Bros, which is basically Power Stone. And that's another good game. Also an original Xbox exclusive. Alright, next is Finding Nemo. This game it's okay. It's another puzzle game, with this one being based on Finding Nemo. It's okay for the most part, but there's some slider puzzles that just suck. And I think anyone who's played slider puzzles knows exactly what I'm talking about. But other than that, the game's fine. Alright, next is Conflict Desert Storm 2 Back to Baghdad. I haven't played this one, but I played the first one on the PS2. And that one's pretty fun. And another tactical shooter that simplifies the mechanics from Ghost Recon, and it makes it a lot of fun. Alright, next is Midway Arcade Treasures, Midway Arcade Treasures 2, and Midway Arcade Treasures 3. These are some really great collections of Midway's arcade games. Each one kind of represents different parts of Midway's history. So this one is kind of based on their arcade games from the 80s. And if I were to name like some of my favorites on here, it's definitely Joust, Gauntlet, Smash TV, and Marble Madness, and Root Beer Tapper. So if you like Midway's 80s arcade games, go for that one. Arcade Treasures 2 is based on Midway in the 90s. So like, so my favorites on this one are Rampage World Tour, Gauntlet 2. What was it? Was there another one that I really liked? And Total Carnage, and it's got Mortal Kombat 2 and 3, and then 3 is based on the racing games, so like Hydro Thunder and San Francisco Rush. I haven't dabbled in this one too much, but depending on like what part of Midway you like, it has a little something for everyone basically. All right, next is Tao Fang, Fist of the Lotus. Speaking of Mortal Kombat, a game from the co-creator of Mortal Kombat, Ed Boon, I think, right? Yeah, Ed Boon, I think. And it's a fighting game, obviously, with it being Ed Boon. With the gimmick of this one being limb damage. So basically, like, you could break characters' arms and legs, and I think their punches and kicks would be like weaker. It's pretty interesting, but like it didn't really take off in the same way that Mortal Kombat did. Alright, next is Rally Sport Challenge, a game that was, yeah, look at this, made by DICE of Battlefield fame. That's interesting. And I think I have another one of DICE's games. Not Battlefield, I mean I do have Battlefield, but another game that you're going to be seeing in a bit. And then next is Madagascar. It's okay. I kind of got it just for the mini games. Alright, next is Blood Omen 2. I started playing this one recently, and it's a fun game where you're a vampire, sucking people's blood and taking out demons. It's kind of like Blood Rain, in a way, if anyone's played Blood Rain, but it's Blood Omen. Both have blood in them. No. Next is Enclave, another game kind of similar to Blood Omen, with it being like a hack and slash. With this one being like, you can choose between different classes and species of monsters, I think. Yeah, playable characters. Maybe not monsters specifically, but it's not bad from what I played so far. Alright, next is Tomb Raider Legend. It's great. It's kind of like, I feel like this game kind of like, sort of, I feel like this game kind of, created like, I guess sort of like, a starting point for Uncharted, so like Naughty Dog maybe took a bit from Tomb Raider Legend. I'm probably wrong on that, but great game. I might let's play that one in the future. MechAssault and MechAssault 2, Lone Wolf. MechAssault 1 was actually the first game I ever got for my original Xbox, and this is still my complete not complete because it's missing a manual. But I still remember the day I got my Xbox and I got this game with it. It was so much fun. But the issue I have with the first MechAssault is the lack of checkpoints in the missions. So like if you die, you go all the way back and to the start. And some missions can be long. And in MechAssault 2, I think it fixes that issue. But I think the issue with this one is, I guess the story. Maybe the story. I don't remember. I don't remember exactly. But I remember I wasn't really engaged in this one as much. I don't know. I forget what it was about it, but it was still fun. Both of them. Like they're probably some of the best mech games. All right, next is 50 Cent Bulletproof. Now this just looks like, shut up, car. This just looks like straight up guilty pleasure fun. I mean, it's 50 Cent packing heat and just shooting everyone up. All right, next is Test Drive. Just got this one recently. I haven't had time to play it yet. Alright, next, here's my complete copy of MLB 2K5. I still want to play this one because I saw my friends play it, and there's just some of the crazy stuff that happens in it. It just looks really fun. Alright, next, here's one of the more well-known games for the original Xbox. Crimson Skies, High Road to Revenge. A fantastic dogfighting game. It's like the Xbox's like Star Wars Rogue Squadron in a way, with like Uncharted style, like I guess sort of characters. with the with the setting being like 1930s, like planes basically, like just made in a way to be like, I don't know, like other dogfighting games, but it's fantastic. All right, next is The Thing for the Xbox. I actually got this for only $3. One of my local game stores, Bull Moose. That's why there's the barcode's missing on this. I haven't played it yet, but I'm excited to play it. Maybe I should watch the rest of the movie, because I was able to catch some of the movie on TV, but I didn't. I missed like the first half of it, unfortunately. All right, next is Amped, another sports game. Well, it's an extreme sports game with snowboarding. I haven't played that one as much as another game you're going to be seeing, SSX. All right, next, Lego Star Wars and Lego Star Wars 2. They're not with the rest of the Star Wars games because I do consider them like different games from the Star Wars games. This one I Let's Played with my friend Aaron Fazbear. So go check that one. Go check that out. And then Lego Star Wars 2 I plan on Let's Playing soon. But probably some of the best Lego games, at least in my opinion. All right, next, Pocket Bike Racer. We got Burger King games. I do consider the Burger King games both Xbox games and Xbox 360 games, so that's why that's there. It's a pretty ridiculous racing game. All right, next, ATV Quad Power Racing 2. Got a ton of racing games. I forgot I had this many racing games. All right, next is Dr. Muto, 3D platformer with this mad doctor. It's kind of like Ratchet and Clank, but like not as good as Ratchet and Clank. Excuse me. It's decent. It's Midway. Kind of interesting that Midway did 3D platformers back in the day. All right, we're getting close to the end of the second stack. So we got Spartan Total Warrior, which I got for $4 at Bull Moose yet again. That's a Sega game. And it's a spin-off of the Total War series, which is mainly a PC series. And it was kind of fun. It was like, I guess sort of like Dynasty Warriors in a way. So I don't know if it's like a game that everyone will like, but I guess if that type of game appeals to you, go ahead. And then my last game in the second pile is Half-Life 2, which, as we know, great game, amazing game actually. I need to go back to it. Like I got like a few hours in, and was pretty interested. Well, not interested. I was having a good time. There we go. All right, pile number 3. Here we go. So, Blinks the Time Sweeper, another original Xbox exclusive, and this one is a 3D platformer where you control this cat who can manipulate time. You can use slow motion, pause, rewind, fast forward, and record in both puzzles and in combat. And out of all of the original Xbox games that didn't really take off, this one I saw from playing it, it had the most potential behind it, because it got a sequel, but the sequel was released a week after Halo 2, which just by me saying that, you can tell the game underperformed. And if there was like some sort of alternate universe where like Blinks was one of the big games for the Xbox family consoles, I would honestly get an Xbox Series X for a Blinks game. I'm not even joking. All right, next is Azuric, Rise of Parathea, or Parathea. I think it's pronounced Parathea, so I'm gonna say Parathea. I think it's a platformer RPG mix. It's been a while since I've played it, but I remember liking what I played of it. It wasn't like the most deep thing like I've ever played, but like it was like, for what it was, it's not bad. All right, next is another copy of Mojo, but this one is the case is loose and the disc doesn't work. All right, next is Enter the Matrix. Not a good game by any means, but when I bought this from the flea market, the seller wrote down some cheat codes and just left them in the game. So here's some cheat codes if you want to use them. And also, I like the shiny cover. And also, it's made by people who are called Shiny. No. Alright, next is Quantum Redshift, which is like Wipeout or F-Zero for the Xbox. And like Azuric, it's pretty fun. It's not bad from what I played. It's like, I think if it like kind of like had something to offer like Wipeout and F-Zero did, I think it would have a chance like to be with the other Xbox consoles. Alright, next is Jade Empire Limited Edition. It's a BioWare RPG. It's set in China and it's got all the BioWare staples like the branching paths and like an in-depth story with little like bits of story within the story. And it has a demo of Conquer Live and Reloaded on the disc. I don't know if this is also the case with the special, the limited edition, or if it's also in the standard edition. Someone can let me know in the comments below. Alright, next is Medal of Honor Rising Sun and Medal of Honor European Assault. We need some new Medal of Honor games. I think there's one that's coming to PC, but we need some new console Medal of Honor games. It's been too long. It's like Rising Sun is pretty good, and so is European Assault. And I also had Frontline at one point, but I also traded that away. And each one is kind of like based in different parts of World War II. So European Assault, I think, is the last stand of the war, I think. I'm not sure. Rising Sun is based on the Pearl Harbor, and then Frontline is based on D-Day, basically. And they're all really great. Frontline's my favorite. I did a Let's Play on Frontline. If you want to check it, hear my thoughts on it. All right, next is Torino 2006. It's a game about the Olympics. I thought it would be like Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games, but it's not. Alright, next is Crash Tag Team Racing. This game is weird. You would think, by the title, it's a racing game. But no, not only is it a racing game, it's also a 3D platformer. And the 3D platforming it's not bad, but it pretty much takes center stage, like front stage or whatever. And thing is, why? I don't know why that is. And the racing is meh, but like the platforming itself is fine. Alright, next is Fantastic Four. It's like X-Men Legends, but not as good. I mean, it's alright, but it's nothing compared to X-Men Legends. Alright, next is Soldier of Fortune 2 Double Helix. The notable thing about this game, and this series rather, is the limb destruction thing about it. So what I mean is that when like an enemy is dead, you can still shoot the enemy, like say in their arm or their leg, and like you could still like shoot it off, and I think even like their heads as well, and like blood will splatter everywhere. It's a very gory series, but that's really the only thing that makes it stand out. Alright, next is the Xbox Music Mixer, which I think is like a GarageBand type of thing. Probably not. I was looking at the back, it's like about karaoke and media players. Or maybe I'm wrong. Or maybe like MTV, or maybe it's MTV Music Generator that I'm thinking of. Alright, next is Arctic Thunder. It's like Hydro Thunder, but on the snow. Alright, next is all of my James Bond games. So we got 007 Agent Under Fire, 007 Everything or Nothing, 007 From Russia with Love, 007 Nightfire, and GoldenEye Rogue Agent. And there's a ton to go over here, so let me go over Agent Under Fire. And it's not bad. It has some like awkward controls, and I'm not a fan of the vehicle sections in that game, but I think it played. It's a decent like Bond game. And then GoldenEye Rogue Agent is just straight up meh. Like I kind of wish it would be like better than what we got. And then 007 Nightfire is a great Bond game. Probably one of my favorite ones. I haven't played GoldenEye on the N64 because I don't have an N64. But maybe Nightfire will like hold me over. And then From Russia with Love is probably my favorite one out of all of them. Like I haven't seen the movie, but like I have a strong feeling that that game will get me into watching the movie, especially since No Time to Die is coming at the end of this year, and I'm pretty excited for that. And then 007 Agent or Everything or Nothing is also great. They also got like some big name actors like Willem Dafoe and Judi Dench. And I also like how with From Russia with Love, they got Sean Connery back as Bond. I mean, he sounds like old Sean Connery, but he's still there. Like, I guess in spirit, maybe. Alright, next is a loose disc copy of Grand Theft Auto Vice City. The only reason why I don't have this with the rest of them is because it's actually a game that... Oh, my voice cracked. It's a game because my voice cracked. No. It's not with the rest because it's actually kind of worth something compared to all the other ones. Maybe, I don't know. I forgot. Alright, next is Project Gotham Racing, the first one. And here's what I did to the disc. Yeah. Enough said. No, but it's a good racing game. Alright, next is Doom 3. I've had this game for like years and I still have yet to play it. I don't know why that is. Alright, next is Sonic Mega Collection Plus. A fantastic collection of Sonic games and extras. It's also got, I think it also has the Game Gear games. Yeah, it does. It has the Game Gear games, and also I think Comic Zone and some other Sega game that I forgot about. But great collection of Sonic games, and the Comic Zone. Actually, I think the other one was a Vector Man, but I forget. And then I've also got Sonic Heroes. I like Sonic Heroes. It's not amazing because I found like some glitches. Like it can get glitchy at times, but it's a fun Sonic game. Not my favorite, not one of my favorites in the series, but it's fun. Alright, next is Far Cry Instincts. Really messed up copy of this game. Battlefield 2. So here's my another dice game, I guess, and it's also got a sticker on it. Haven't played it. And then here's one. Here is FIFA Street with no cover art. And these EA Sports big games are actually really fun. Like I'm not into soccer in real life, but that game kind of makes soccer a lot more fun. Kind of like how NBA Street kind of did it with me with basketball. And then next is Rayman Arena, which is another good racing game, but this one all the Rayman characters are on foot, and it's really magical. But as yeah, it is what it I'm just stuttering non-stop. And also, sorry if I keep going to the light like this. The light's literally right behind me, and my voice cracked again, but nothing I can do about it. And then the last game in the third pile is Gun Valkyrie, which is a really great underrated Sega game. It's like mechs with guns, mechs with guns and future stuff. All right, and that is it for pile number 3. And for pile number 4, we have Soul Calibur 2, an amazing fighting game. It's a game where characters from medieval times could beat up Spawn with gun swords. Next game, Pac-Man World 2, a fun, underrated 3D platformer. Currently let's playing the first Pac-Man World on the PlayStation 1, and I might do that one sometime once I finish the first one. It's a fun game. I still need to finish it. Like, I never finished it for some reason, even though it's a game from my childhood. Alright, next is Dead to Rights. I haven't played enough of this one to form an opinion, but you're a cop, and you've got like a badass dog with you. Alright. Oh god. Next is Shrek, which is actually a game by DICE, believe it or not. So I had heard of how bad this game is, but something about it just seemed kind of, funny about it. And then I put it in my Xbox, and that's when I found out that onions and ogres have layers of suckage. Moving on. Next is The Godfather, the game, limited edition. I started playing this one as well. I haven't really played it enough of it to form an opinion, but it seems to me that it has like the characters from the movie while it's sort of making its own story. I don't exactly know. So Yeah, next is Pariah. This one's a shooter, I believe. It looks like a shooter. I haven't played it. Oh, and now here's a game I've played. We're gonna get to all my Star Wars games. First one is Star Wars Starfighter Special Edition. Another pretty good dogfighting game. It's a first-person dogfighting game with actually one of the nicest covers I've seen out of most of the games in my Xbox collection. And it's a good first-person dogfighting game. It's not on the same level as Crimson Skies, but it's fun, and I managed to finish that game, surprisingly enough. Alright, next is Star Wars Republic Commando. Got this from my friend Nightcore Henry, so thank you, Henry, and go check out his channel. And yeah, fantastic game. Probably one of the more underrated Star Wars games. And it's an Xbox exclusive. This one's also an Xbox exclusive. Star Wars Obi-Wan. It's alright. You play as Obi-Wan going through episode 1, I believe. But like I said, it's alright. And we got both Knights of the Old Republic games. I managed to get this one for $1 at a yard sale, and then this one for $7. I need to play those sometime, but I've got too many RPGs to play at the moment. Alright, next, Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. This one's actually not bad for a Star Wars game. Like, it follows the movie pretty well, and like it's a good beat 'em up with Star Wars stuff that follows Episode 3's plot. Like, I'd say Episode 3, the game, is actually on the same level as Episode 3, the movie. They're both pretty good. Alright, next is Star Wars Clone Wars, and then something that's not even Star Wars, Tetris Worlds, which belong to Paul. Sorry, Paul, I have your copy of Star Wars Clone Wars and Tetris Worlds. Come get it. No. Clone Wars is decent, and then Tetris is Tetris. I don't need to tell you how Tetris is. And then next is, actually my last one, Star Wars Battlefront 2. Star Wars Battlefront 2 is better than Star Wars Battlefront 2. And yeah, it's Battlefront 2. That's probably the most expensive game in my collection. I found that for, I got it for, it was $15, but then I got it for half off because I had like enough Lose points to get it for half off, and that game usually goes for like $30 or $40, I think. Our next, Taka Race Driver 3. Haven't played it yet. Again, still have racing games that I just not gotten around to. Our next is Whacked. It's a game with these really crazy looking characters, and it's immature. It kind of looks fun. And then like I haven't got it working because my Xbox is kind of having issues at the moment, so I haven't played it yet. Alright, next is Ty the Tasmanian Tiger. I like this game. It's a 3D platformer, but in Australia with this Tasmanian tiger, and you got boomerangs. It's Australia incarnate, basically. Alright, next is Super Monkey Ball Deluxe, another game that's pretty uncommon for the system, and it's basically a port of the two GameCube games to the original Xbox, and it's also on the PS2 as well. So if you like the Monkey Ball games, get that game. Alright, next is another Burger King game, and that's Sneak King. Probably one of the weirder games I've played. It's a stealth game where you play as the king, delivering Whoppers to people. Let me repeat that again. A stealth game where you play as the Burger King, delivering Whoppers to people. A stealth game. Alright, next is Kill Switch. And from what I know from this pretty much created the cover-based shooter system that Gears of War would eventually go on to perfect. From what I know in that game, so it has like some, I guess, a neat little historical context in terms of cover-based shooters. Yeah, I don't have much else. And then next is Dead or Alive 3. Pretty good fighting game with some. Actually, that's it. It's a really good fighting game. And I've also got the Dead or Alive Ultimate with both games. I don't have Extreme Beach Volleyball because I never whenever I go anywhere, I never see it. And no, it's not actually it's not for what you think it is. Maybe. Next is Return to Castle Wolfenstein: Tides of War. Haven't played it. Thought I had played it. Next is Corvette. Another good racing game, but it's the only one where you can play as Corvettes. Maybe not the only one, but one of the ones where you can play as Corvettes. LA Rush, another Midway game. Yeah, Midway made a lot of games in like a pretty short amount of time. Alright, then Mortal Kombat Shaolin Monks. I think this is my only Mortal Kombat game in my collection. And he plays Liu Kang. So I think this game was what Mortal Kombat Mythology Sub-Zero was supposed to be. Alright, next is Oh, I'm sorry, it's called Run Like Hell, but it's just called Roulette. So it'll forever just be known as Roulette. But I think the PS2 version is actually called Run Like Hell. It's a survival horror game in space. And the last game in Pile Quattro is Psychonauts, which is an amazing 3D platformer. So creative and so funny. And it's got what's his name from from Invader Zim. What's his name? Yeah, it's got the same guy who voices Zim from Invader Zim. And for pile number 5, we have Sudeki, another original Xbox exclusive. It's an action RPG with, no, not just that, but also with some fun combat, in my opinion. Voice acting isn't like the best, but like there's some pretty nice looking graphics and worlds in that game. And then we got another copy of Midway Arcade Treasures 2. This one doesn't work. And let me show you. Do you think that's gonna run in the slightest bit? Hey, look, there's me. Hey. Yeah, I don't think so. Alright, next is Crimson Sea, another Xbox exclusive. And this one is also an RPG, but I'm kind of busy doing Sudeki at the moment. Well, playing through Sudeki. Next is Dark Summit. It's a snowboarding game, kind of like SSX, but it's a bit more I guess a bit more floaty than. It's made by the people who did The Simpsons Road Rage. It's THQ, another Midway of the 2000s. And that's a good game, I gotta say. And here's another shiny cover, Atari Anthology. It's a compilation of 85 games that started a revolution. So it's like a bunch of Atari 2600 games and a bunch of Atari's arcade games. Yeah, arcade games from like the late 70s and the 80s. And it's great historical context, even though it seems to me that some of the games have not aged well. But it's a great collection to have, even if you're not well versed on the Atari stuff from back then. Alright, next is Monopoly Party. It's Monopoly and you party. Enough said. Alright, next is some Tony Hawk games. So we got Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2X, Tony Hawk's Underground 2, Tony Hawk's American Wasteland, and Tony Hawk's Project 8. These games are a lot of fun. Like I put a fair bit of hours into Underground 2, and I haven't really dabbled into American Wasteland and Project 8 that much. And I might play 2X since the new Tony Hawk like Pro Skater 1 and 2 is coming later this year. So I might play that sometime. Next is Robots. I like the movie, so I got this game, and it's alright. Nothing mind-blowing, but like if you like the movie, I think that'll like get the job done. Next is Cell Damage, another vehicular combat game, but instead of being on boats, this time you're on cartoons. No, you are in the cartoons, playing as characters like the Little Devil Man and this woman. It's pretty crazy. Alright, next is Grabbed by the Ghoulies, a rare title. And I actually got pretty far in this one, but unfortunately my old Xbox that I played this on died, so I never finished it. But I did like what I played. got like this little like cartoony like horror aesthetic, like I guess sort of like a Tim Burton like movie, kind of like Nightmare Before Christmas or Corpse Bride or any of Tim Burton's other movies. Pretty good, pretty fun little beat 'em up. All right, next is another pretty expensive game for my Xbox. Not like $100, but like $30, and that's Silent Hill 4: The Room. I'm very excited to play that one because I played a bit of Origins and that was pretty good. And then from what I hear, that's the last great Silent Hill game, according to fans. All right, and then we got some SpongeBob action. We got SpongeBob SquarePants Battle for Bikini Bottom, and the SpongeBob SquarePants movie. Might do a Let's Play on this one since the new one is coming in within a few weeks. And then, like with Grab by the Ghoulies, I got pretty far into the SpongeBob SquarePants movie, but I never finished it because my old Xbox died on me. But they're really great games. I'm glad that Battle for Bikini Bottom is getting the remake that it so deserves, and with the new content as well. I might even Let's Play Battle for Bikini Bottom and the movie game. We'll have to wait and see. Alright, next is New Legends, which is like a Dynasty Warriors clone. The force of one man can change a nation. And this is one of the few games that has an alternate cover art, if you could see through there. Yeah, it's alright. I like the aesthetic of it, I gotta say. Next is Nightcaster. This is one I never really delved into that much. It's another Xbox exclusive, and it kind of reminds me a bit of Azuric, but with this like sorcerer kid. So it is a bit like Azuric, but it's more RPG heavy than Azuric is. Azuric's more platformer based. All right, next is Air Force Delta Storm. It's a dogfighting game, I'm assuming. Alright, next is Sneakers. This game disappointed me. With characters this cute, I wanted a game that was as cute as these characters. And there were glimpses of it here and there. And I think depending on the day you ask me, sometimes they'd say this game is okay, and then sometimes I think it's just like below average, which is really a shame. It's like these characters are so cute. I want to plush of them. All right, next is Superman: The Man of Steel. Haven't played this one. I heard bad things about that one. All right, next is Thief: Deadly Shadows. Another game I haven't played, but this one I'm pretty excited to start playing. All right, next is Pirates of the Caribbean. Strangely, a Bethesda title, which you wouldn't think would be a Bethesda title, but I guess it is. There's also one that's on the PS2, like The Legend of Jack Sparrow, and I don't know. Like this was after Morrowind. I don't know. All right, next is SSX Tricky and SSX On Tour. These games are a lot of fun. Tricky is probably one of my favorite sports games, along with like one of the Tony Hawk games. I forget at the moment. And On Tour is fun. I need to get the GameCube version because it has Mario characters. And that's it. No. Yeah, check those out. Alright, next is Worms Forts Under Siege. It's Worms games in 3D and you build forts, I'm assuming. I played the tutorial. I should play that game in multiplayer. And then, speaking of Morrowind, here is Morrowind. The bottom of pile number 5. And I also got Morrowind Game of the Year edition because I got a good price on both of these. And I've started playing Morrowind, but with a game like that, like only a little bit, like I'd say a half hour-ish is not enough to give an opinion on such a game. Alright, we're at the home stretch, ladies and gentlemen. Pile number 6. Starting with Serious Sam, another game that Nightcore Henry sent my way, and honestly, thank you so much for sending this my way, dude. This game is awesome. I did a Let's Play on this, and this game contains one of the greatest characters ever put to code. Serious Sam is a badass, And go check out my Let's Play if you want to see his true badassness in action. Alright, next is Time Splitters 2. Another pretty good shooter, but it's not on the level of Serious Sam. No, it kind of is, actually. Alright, next is R Racing Evolution. It's a Ridge Racer game, but it's called R Racing. What's the difference? I couldn't tell you. Alright, next is Fusion Frenzy. A game kind of like Whacked, but it's doesn't have like the immatureness, I guess, of Whacked. But it's a fun game. Fun. I think that game actually did get a sequel on the 360. It is a party game, and maybe it could have survived to the Xbox One. I'm not sure. Next is Max Payne, another Rockstar game, and it's another pretty good game. Haven't played enough of it to really say much on it, but it's a good game. I haven't really played it like extensively yet, but I'm excited to dig deep into it. Alright, next is Need for Speed Hot Pursuit 2, and both Underground games. Hot Pursuit 2 is pretty good if you like the mission-based racing games, and then Underground 1 and 2 are great if you like open world stuff and customizing your cars while you explore a city. Alright, next is Indigo Prophecy. It's a game by Quantic Dream, who eventually did Heavy Rain, aka Jason! No. And, what was it? Beyond Two Souls and Detroit Become Human. And that's the game before those games. Alright, next is Alias, which kind of, if you look at the cover, it kind of looks like Blood Rain, but it has nothing. Those things have nothing in common with each other. Alright, next is Burnout 3, Takedown, and Burnout Revenge. These games are fantastic racing games. Burnout 3, if you like over-the-top crashes, that is a game for you, and same with Revenge. I got this game from Tylord Stevenson. Thank you, Steve, for sending this to me. And yeah, if you like over-the-top crashes and just insane speed in like racing game, that's the game for you. Alright, and then next is the last of the 3 Burger King games, and that is Big Bumpin'. And as you expect, it's a game with bumper cars with this chicken man. Alright, next is Kingdom Under Fire Heroes. Haven't played it yet. I think it's like Dynasty Warriors? No, I don't know. I just thought it looked like it. Alright, next is Project Snowblind. This one's pretty good. I like the story in this one. Well, the setup for it. So basically, like, this villain guy, basically, like, is threatening to, like, put the world in a blackout with these, like, electromagnetic bombs that'll, like, destroy, like, the electricity. So I like the setup for it. Next is Prince of Persia: The Warrior Within. Haven't played it. I want to get Sands of Time before playing that game. Alright, next is there's some sports games. MVP Baseball 2005 and NHL 2005. The only reason why these are here is because I wanted to show you that I literally got these games for free. That's it. That's all she wrote. Alright, next is the Chronicles of Riddick Escape from Butcher Bay with the Vin Diesel. We all like Vin Diesel. Alright, next is AMF Bowling 2004. Meh. Alright, next is Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Ring, and Lord of the Rings, The Third Age. I haven't played Fellowship extensively, and then Third Age is an RPG. According to this, the most exciting RPG since Final Fantasy. That's pretty ballsy to say, cover. Alright, next is Peter Jackson's King Kong, the official game of the movie. That one's solid. Armed and Dangerous, a game where you can throw sharks at the ground. It's kind of like a Ratchet and Clank game. Black, some pretty impressive graphics on this one, I gotta say, and some fun gunplay. Yeah, sorry I'm rushing through these last few ones, but I'm running out of time on my camera. Alright, last 3 games. Buffy the Vampire Slayer, another recent pickup. I haven't really had time to play that yet. Hitman Contracts, which I think I might start playing this one since the new Hitman just was recently announced. And the last game in my original Xbox collection is Gun, which is like Red Dead Revolver, I think, with an open world. And that is it. And that is my entire original Xbox collection, ladies and gentlemen. It's so big, I can't even fit it all on camera. So yeah, that is it. So thank you all for watching the video, and please comment, like, and subscribe. And next video is, I'm not sure what it's going to be. You'll see in the next few days. But hope you all continue to stay safe out there. So shock the world and us, amiibros. Goodbye.